In lesson 9.4, we're going to take a look at areas and perimeter, or areas of parallelograms and triangles. So, there's a few things here. I'm going to add a few things into this vocabulary box up here. First, the area of a parallelogram is base times height. But there's a few things. Base and height must form a right angle. Okay, you're always going to pick the two that meet at the box. See a little box, little box, little box over here, and all the way over here. Okay, you always want to look for which two numbers meet at the box. And tricky thing here is that height can be inside or outside of the shape. Height can be a little special. Okay, so for a triangle, it's the same thing, except this time we have a 1/2. So it's 1/2 base times height. Whoops, base, height. Okay, so the base of a parallelogram can be any side of the parallelogram. But a height must be the segment E that forms a right angle with the base. Oh, sorry, you can't see that, huh? Right angle with the base. That's better. Okay. Got that little hand in the way. You can't see when I write down there. Okay, so let's pause the video and write that down, and then we'll talk about the triangle one. Okay, so just like a parallelogram, any side of a triangle can be the base, but the height of the triangle is the segment that forms a right angle with the base. Okay, so again, height can change. Base has to be one of the sides, but the height can be inside or outside. All right, so let's take a look at the area of a parallelogram. So find the area. Now they're going to give you more numbers that you need, but again, you only want the base and the height, and the base and the height have to be the two that meet at the box. Well, here's the box. Here's a side that touches the box, and then what segment touches the base and the box? This one. So these are the two I'm looking at. That 5 inches is just there to mess you up, or if you're trying to find perimeter, then you'd need him. But not for area. Area, you only need the two numbers that meet at the box. So my base is 8, my height is 3.3. So I'm going to substitute 8 for the base, 3.3 for h. Now I just need to multiply these two together. And 3.3 times 8, 4, 2, 26, bring a decimal in. 26.4 inches squared. So the area is 26.4, whoops, that's a 4. 4 square inches. Okay, now you can try the quick check. We tell you what the base and the height are, and you just have to find the area. When you're ready, move on to the next one. Okay, so in example 2, we're going to find the area of a triangle. So remember that the formula is 1/2 base times height. They tell me that the base is 214 and the height is 70. So I substituted those two numbers in. Now, because you have this 1/2 here, It'll make your math a little bit easier if you cut one of these numbers in half. If you only have one number that's an even number, cut that one in half before you multiply. But both of these are even, so I'm going to do half of 214. Now I'm not doing half of both numbers. I pick one of my numbers and cut it in half. Well, that's 107. So now I just have to do 107 times 70, which is 0, 9, 4, 4, 7. 7,490. So the area is 7,490 square meters, or meters squared, how we like to say it. Now what happens if they give us a really weird looking shape like this? I'm going to scroll down, so pause the video and fill that example in if you need to. Now if you have a shape, a big complex shape like this, try to break it up into shapes that you do know how to find. So we drew these little dashed marks in. Those weren't there originally. We split the polygon up into two rectangles. Oops. And a triangle. Okay, because I know how to find the area of those. So the smaller rectangle, base and height, so 2 times 5 is 10, or 10 meters squared. The larger rectangle is 12 by 3, which is 36, or 36 meters squared. Now the triangle up here, I know that one side of the triangle is 5. This other side of the triangle, I don't know what that is. So I know one of them is 5, but I can figure this out, because if this whole piece at the bottom here is 12, this whole piece here will also be 12. This small piece on the end here is a 2, so I know that 2 plus this 6 in the middle here, plus whatever this piece is, has to add up to be 12. Well, I know that 2 plus 6 is 8. So 8 plus what is 12? Well, that means that x must equal 4. So that is the number that I'm going to put here. Okay, so now I could multiply 5 times 4. Those are small enough, so that's 20. And I could take half at this point, so 1/2 times 20 is 10. It doesn't matter when you multiply the 1/2. I could have done, since I had 1/2, 5 times 4, I could have done the half of 4, which is 2, and then done 2 times the other number, and I would still get that same 10. So it doesn't matter when you work the half in, as long as you only multiply it once, you also get the same answer. Now to find the total area, I'm just going to take each of these answers, and to find total, we add them all up. And if I add those 3 up, sorry, that last one's a 10, you get 56 square meters. Okay, so now you're going to try the two quick checks at the bottom. One is just a triangle, and they give you the base and the height. And quick check number 3 is a complex figure. They drew one of the dashed lines in for you, but in order to solve that problem, you're going to need to draw another dashed line in. So try those quick checks, and we'll check your work in class.